Family favorite recipes are always a winner in my book, and I have got you some today. Hey friends, my name's Susan, and welcome to my home. Today I have got 4 family favorite recipes. Your family's gonna love them. You know they've got to be 5-star to be a family favorite here. And let me get this ponytail up, and let's get to making some of our favorite recipes for the last little bit. You're gonna love them, and so is your family. So come on, let's get to cooking. And I am going to make a slow cooker meal that you can do as a freezer meal. We've done it and we love it. And it's going into the crock pot today. I've got a rump roast. You could also use any type of meat you want, but it seems like these do really good in it. And 2 cans of beef consomme soup. Once you get it out of the crock pot, you will need some hoagie rolls and some provolone cheese. But other than that, this is all you need, guys. So let's get it in the crock pot. I'm going to go ahead and put the roast in the bottom of the pot. I didn't ask for Angus roast. I asked for something else, and this is what they got me in my order from Walmart. And then 2 cans of beef consomme soup. Now, whenever this meat is cooking down, it'll make its own juices. But between that and this beef consomme soup, oh, you have a French dip for sure. So, let me go ahead and put the lid on this, turn it on low, let it cook all day while I'm going to work. And then we'll have some goodness whenever I come home. And I got back from work today, and this is what I'm looking at. Let me get this shredded up so we can get this on a sandwich for some supper. And look at this. It is just pulling apart. Oh, it's like magic. The top did get a little bit brown because it was out of the fluid. But what I'm going to do is shred this up, leave it in the fluid for just a few minutes so it can rehydrate if it got a little bit dried out, which look how tender and juicy that looks. I don't think it got dried out at all, but I just need to go ahead and get this shredded up. It did have a little fat cap on that one side. I am not going to utilize that, but that can only make it taste even better. So let me let this soak up a little bit of juice, and then it'll be time to get it on a hoagie roll so we can have some French dip sandwiches. And here we go. Here is the French dip sandwich. I've got some provolone cheese on top, the meat in between. It is so juicy. Don't know if you can see all the juice running out from the sandwich into the plate, but that's what I'm talking about. And of course, I've got some dip and juice behind it. And this is what's for supper tonight. And tonight I'm going to be making some quick and easy chicken fried rice. I've got some rotisserie chicken that I've pulled. I've got some onions, butter, 2 things of jasmine rice, the 90-second kind, a can of mixed vegetables, 2 eggs, some sesame oil, and some garlic. Minced garlic, that is. I do need a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I just saw that. I forgot to get it out. But other than that, we've got everything we need. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the microwave, and then we'll start making the fried rice. And this recipe is supposed to be really fast, a 10-minute recipe. We will take that challenge. I've already got the rice that I have put in the microwave. I'm going to go ahead and add in the onions and the garlic to the pan. Now it says to let this cook for about 2 to 3 minutes, and it is on a medium-high. Well, medium. I just don't want to burn the garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cook for just a minute. And it's been about 2 minutes, and it's really fragrant. I'm going to go ahead and add the rice in and mix that around really good. Get all that wonderful garlic and onion put together with the rice. Next in is going to be the vegetables. It calls for, I think, 1 cup of mixed vegetables. You know me, if I can get Danny to eat his vegetables, I'll make it however I need to make it. So I went ahead and put that in. Next in is going to be the chicken. It said to cut it up into small pieces. I didn't quite do that because, you know, we like a little bite of chicken in ours. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this around too. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and press that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that bell so you don't miss any of the good food or fun. And I have turned it down to medium because it was a little bit hot. I am going to add about a tablespoon of sesame oil into the pan. Okay. That stuff is like gold, I tell you. It's not cheap by no means, but it makes everything taste so good. And let me get this stirred around. Now I'm going to go ahead and push the rice over to the side to give the egg a nice hot surface to go on. That way I can fry the egg right there. And I'm just going to keep stirring while the egg is cooking. That way it'll make it nice and fluffy. Try not to get everything into it, but you know, it's all going to go in together anyway here in a minute. But this is basically all that you do. And you just let it go until it fluffs up real good. And yes, I love these pans. They're called Master Class pans. Love them. Nothing sticks to them. Okay, now that's pretty good. I think the eggs are pretty much cooked all the way. Now what I'm going to do is basically just stir them into the rest of the rice. Make sure there's a little egg and everything. Now, last thing I'm going to do is add in the soy sauce itself. And stir that around. And that's looking really good. Now I'm going to let this cook for about a minute and then it's ready to eat, guys. That's how simple this is. And you saw it pretty much in real time. It's really quick. And here you go. Easy chicken fried rice and some yum yum sauce. And it's what's for supper tonight. And tonight we're making some taco spaghetti. I've got a little bit of olive oil, some taco seasoning, spaghetti noodles, rotel, a little bit of onion, a little bit of Mexican style cheese, and some water. And I believe that's all that we need to make taco spaghetti. Oh, yes, and the hamburger meat that's browning up in the pot. So let's go ahead and get that hamburger meat browning up and let's get to making some taco spaghetti because I am hungry and this sounds really good. Now I've got the hamburger browning up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add in the onions that I had. And I'm going to go ahead and cook these until they are translucent. Well, it's not going to take long, or until the hamburger meat is brown all the way around. Well, I think I'm supposed to add the olive oil in first, but why do you need olive oil? Look how much this has produced. I'm going to go ahead and add in the taco seasoning, which is basically 1 packet of taco seasoning, or the equivalent thereof. I'm also going to go ahead and add in the rotel, including the juices. There we go. 8 ounces of spaghetti noodles, and 3 cups of water into this mix. Now let me go ahead and stir that around just a little bit. Now I have turned this up on high so I can let it boil. Once the water starts to boil, as you see it is, I've tried to push all my noodles down toward the bottom. That way they're all under the water. Now the secret is you are going to turn this down to low and put a lid on it. And then let this cook for about 15 minutes on low, and everything will be done in this one pot. Amazing, and I'm hungry. And now all of the noodles are nicely cooked, and I have stirred them around to make sure that they're all separated. I'm going to go ahead and add some cheese to this. I am going to add Mexican style cheese instead of the cheddar, which it calls for. It says to put half in here and put half on top. I'm going to put a good bit in here. Just leave a little bit to put on top. And then I'm going to go ahead and stir it around. That way we get some of that cheese pull. I'm going to let it sit in the container for just a little bit to let that cheese melt. And then it'll be time to eat some supper. And here's what it looks like with all the cheese melted in. Bud's getting him some munchies, crunchies for supper already. So let's get this on the plate. And here you go. Taco spaghetti. All you need is a little bit of cheese to go on the top, which I've got some frozen cheese, but that's okay. There you go. You could put some sour cream on top because y'all know me, I'm tempted. I'm probably going to put it on mine. But this is Danny's version, and this is what's for supper tonight. Taco spaghetti, one pan, and it is amazing. We're about to start a meal in the crock pot. Crockpot Chicken Pot Pie. I'm just doing half the recipe. Didn't think we needed all of it. I've got a couple of biscuits out of a can of Grand's biscuits that I had left over. I'm going to go ahead and use them with this recipe. I got some minced garlic, sour cream, can of cream of chicken soup, a can of mixed vegetables. I've got my chicken spice, salt and pepper, onion powder, thyme, rosemary, and 2 big old frozen chicken breasts. So let's go ahead and get all of this into our little crock pot. The first thing we're going to add in is, of course, the chicken breasts. They go in the very bottom. Oh, and I forgot to lay out some chicken broth, some bone broth. So I'm just going to be using some regular broth. I forgot to put that in the lineup too. I'll show you here in a minute. I'm going to put in some minced garlic. Like I said, I'm just halving in this recipe. The mixed vegetables are going in next. A little bit of onion powder. A little bit of rosemary and thyme. Now the thing that makes it really good, my homemade chicken spice. Get some of that in there. I'm going to go ahead and add in the chicken broth that I just made up and the cream of chicken soup. Now I am going to go ahead and try to get this dispersed a little bit, because whenever that chicken does cook, of course it's frozen, it will produce some fluid on its own. So that will take care of that. And a little bit of salt and pepper. Because that chicken broth does have quite a bit of sodium in it. So I've got everything in. All we've got to do is set this on low for 8 hours. And then when we come back, we'll be ready to pull some chicken. And then we'll bake the biscuits and we'll have some Crockpot Chicken Pot Pie. So let's get to putting this on. And I came home from work, and this is what I found. I'm going to pull the chicken out and shred it up, and I'm going to get some biscuits cooked. I'm going to put mine in the air fryer, but you can do the oven if you want to, and then we'll be ready to have some Crockpot Chicken Pot Pie. 5 minutes later on 350, and we have nicely brown biscuits. So let's get this chicken pot pie put together. And when I opened them up, they weren't quite done in the middle as much as I'd liked them, so I opened them up and then put them back in the air fryer. Now, these biscuits are looking good. Let's get it put together. Now we've got some good flaky biscuits. If you wanted to put this in a bowl, you could. I know Danny is not a big bowl person. I'm just going to go ahead and put over the chicken pot pie mixture over top of the biscuit. You could just do the chicken pot pie and put the mixture in a bowl and eat it. But I figure this is going to be the best way to get everything ate. And it smells amazing. And here you go, Crockpot Chicken Pot Pie. And it's what's for supper tonight. I told you those recipes were amazing. And again, they're always 5-star or they would not be a family favorite. And if you haven't already, press that little button down below and subscribe and ring that bell. That way you'll know whenever each of my videos come up so you don't miss any of the good food and fun. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know where you're at. That way I can see where everybody is that's watching these videos. Until next time, see you then.